Hello, a good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth
The truth
Behind the
behind
Truth.
the truth.
Yes, indeed. Another wonderful evening here on the West Coast, Atlanta, and wherever else our talented team is joining us from. All right. Good to see you, Miss Alma. Good evening to you as well. All right. Got an exciting show this evening. My part, and number one is Under the Weather. So you have me, the beautiful me, this evening with the beautiful Sandy and the beautiful Charles. I'm sure Darnell will be joining us. He's probably stuck in traffic here in LA trying to get around. So hopefully he will be getting with us very shortly. But outside of that, we're going to have a great show tonight because we have got the wonderful, Miss Beautiful and Talented. And oh my God, all of the accolades that I could I'll say that till when I introduce her. But Miss Tara Lambro will be with us this evening. And our main focus is we're going to expose the media tonight. I'm telling you guys, we're going to get in there. We're going to tell you some truth behind the truth of the things that the one thing I can give that orange idiot for saying fake news. Well, we're going to find out a little bit about fake news, whether it's fake or the truth. All right, or is it recycled, or is it propaganda, or all that type of stuff like that Sandy like talking about? So we're gonna be good tonight. All right, Sandy, how are you, my brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad we're talking about the media. I want to go off on Jesse Waters.
Okay.
This guy should be drawn and quartered, but you go ahead and lead the conversation. I'll come in with the axe, the pickaxe, and the flamethrower soon.
I got you. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be fun, but like I said, I want to say that to when Tara gets here, so you can kind of throw the questions at her and all that type of stuff, about where she did, and just the insight that a lot of people don't know, about what goes on in the media. Charles, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
Thank you. I'm doing well, as best as I can, at least.
Yes, sir. How's Atlanta treating you today? How's the weather there and everything?
It's not bad. It was a pretty day.
Good.
Yeah, well, Atlanta today is warm. Tomorrow will be sunny and
so rainy.
You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So California's trying to catch up with Atlanta. No, I'm just kidding. Atlanta traffic trying to catch up with California, but we're doing good out here, so which is wonderfully good. All right, well, let's go ahead and dig in. Let's for the top of the news chain. Then, like I said, we'll save our media for later on. So let's talk about your boy Sandy real quick. I mean, the clown, the idiot. For some reason, this idiot just consistently has to find a way to be in front of the camera. That's going to lead into probably what we're talking about later. But the situation with the trial that's going to go on him, I think falling asleep in the during the trial session, and then not following the gag order and that. So my thing, and I want to hear my thing. I think they should have the judge is being a little bit too lenient, at the end of the day. And I'm just kind of wondering why he's being too lenient on this clown. Because either make him pay $10,000 every time his mouth opens up, or either let him sit in a jail cell and just think about it for a few hours. They don't keep him there that long. So what you think, buddy?
It's very definitive, and if you read everything and you're up on everything and see all the dissenting points of view and even the Fox News and stuff like that, one of the things the judge has to consider is not just the moment to moment that's going on, but the outcome of this. And the biggest problem is that if he finds him, it doesn't mean anything to Trump. So Trump just gets to go and complain. Right. If he puts him in jail, he becomes a martyr.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, what do you call motivates his base, or and it doesn't achieve anything, because once he motivates his base, then he's going to do more things to try and get back into jail. Right. And the way this case is going, as much as those of us that are watching this go, this guy is a scumbag, he did everything wrong, he broke the law, you still have experts out there, saying this isn't the best case, it's the weakest of the four, right, it's the only one we have, there's a chance he could get out of this, not based on the evidence, based on what the jury decides.
Right.
So if they find a juror that goes, I don't think so, and we've got a hung jury and they, call mistrial, then we're back to square one. Or if he gets off, then he's a hero and he was in prison for no reason. So the judge is walking the finest of lines going, how do I keep this from turning into an advantage from him? And
Gotcha.
I would love to see him in jail.
Right.
And, you know, and I've heard some different things, like they should put him in jail. Not now. They should wait until the jury goes into deliberation. Put him in jail then.
Okay.
And make him sit there during deliberation.
Right.
And I go, well, you know, at that point, the trial's over. He's not going out in front. We don't know. And if he's guilty, then they can just leave him in there, and which they can't do because, of course, he'll appeal. But the other thing they could do is, instead of saying, well, we're going to put you in there, you know, and fine you, you could put him in there over the weekend. You could put him in there at night, you know, let him not go home to Trump Tower. Let him spend the night in jail. And you go, boy, the jail experience, and I'm sad to say I've had one myself, is not pleasant. And, it brings you back to reality really quick. So, you know, what do you guys think? I just, you know, I'd love to see him in jail, but if we're going to put him in there, I never want him to come out.
Right. Well, yeah, that's, I think, the general consensus, right? Go ahead, Charles.
I'm a little torn on the way. I agree that I feel like it's a one-sided. It's a lot of pampering being done. But then on the other hand, we don't want to make him a martyr. And that's what he's looking for. He wants to be crucified in front of the cameras so he can go, oh, look at what they did to me, how they did it, and how bad it was. And But then if you look at the Supreme Court, they're leaning toward giving him immunity for everything he did.
That was going to be my next point we were going to talk about, but go ahead.
No, but this is my thing. They say, what if he makes a mistake? How do you make a mistake when you have a entourage of so-called the brightest minds, the deepest thinkers, and you have them to consult? If you go outside what their consult is, that means you were doing it on purpose, intentionally.
Right.
Now, if there's personal gain or personal reference to it, then that makes it, to me, that makes it just like everyone else.
Right.
You did something wrong. So there is no, because you're the president, you get to make mistakes intentionally.
Right. And
they even ask them, what if you killed your opponent?
Right.
Yeah. And if you kill your opponent, you're supposed to say, well, he was president at that time. That didn't mean much. You know, we got to let that go. That's not what if I'm not mistaken, that was the whole purpose of this experiment of democracy in America, was to get away from the diocese and the so
that's why they came.
That was the whole purpose of this.
Right.
Yeah. At least that's what I thought. And the freedom to say and do as you please. And like I tell people all the time, yes, freedom is a great idea, but it comes at a cost. Because you can say what you say. It also means that people who disagree with you can say what they say. Right. You can't do a one-sided thing and say, well, we're all right, they're all wrong. Right. Everybody gets their say. The key to it is, what is the proof in the pudding? Where's the evidence to what you're saying? I had I'm not going to even say it, but I had someone tell me today that they would vote for Trump over Biden because they're tired of Biden. He ain't done nothing. And I said, well, Trump is a liar and a convict and a sexual predator. Yeah, but at least I know who he is.
Oh, wow.
How does that make it good that you go, well, I know what he is and who he is. I don't know nothing about Biden. And I'm like, man, come on, please tell me you didn't say that. This man is a sexual predator. He says he is. He admitted to it. And then everybody seems to forget how he screwed up the doggone pandemic, but they blame it all on Biden made us wear masks and get shots. Right. Do you remember how this whole thing started? It's like they got amnesia over 2020. They don't remember nothing Trump did or what he said, how we had no food on the shelves, we couldn't find toilet paper. All that stuff just disappeared.
But we're better off 4 years
screwed
ago.
up. And now I'm trying to figure out how was that? We didn't have toilet paper to wipe our behinds with. Right. I don't get it. But like I said, I'm torn.
Well, to your point, I know that we don't have a whole lot of time to explore it unless Tara wants to talk about it when we get her in. But I will say this real quick, and I was kind of excited to be able to talk about this tonight as well. One point I wanted to make with you, Sandy, and I'm gonna say my point, is that my fear, I guess, would be it's like if they convict him, in this, the appeal process is the problem that it is going to exist, even if they can find him at fault for all of the things that he's trying to get away from. So then that's going to explode to another level. Then that's going to explode another. But anyway, we can talk about that later. But I was going to highlight on that to your point. But real quick before we go to break, because I know it's at that point, I had an opportunity. You guys have been trying to get in the presence of a orange person supporter, okay, and find out what their thought patterns was, okay. So I had a guy come into the store yesterday, Asian gentleman, great guy, and you know me, I had to take in the middle of the road for the conversation to have a great conversation. So we talked, and he basically said in a nutshell that the only reason that he would vote for this clown is because of the economic status. Okay,
I've heard that too.
He said, and speaking for different, and he owns two liquor stores in the hood here in LA. Okay, and he says that he has all these kind of conversations that are going on because people come in, drunk, buying their bottles or whatever the case may be. But the other part about it is because he is typically in the place in the African American community, he says they honestly come in having this conversation that they're planning or thinking about voting for Trump. And he's like, well, why? And he really, he has his reasons, but at the same time, he's trying to find a logistic reason for them to do it as well, a logical reason and point. And they can't explain it. So this is our dilemma right here, Sandy, and even for the general masses, but let's just say the African American community. He said they really can't explain. All I know is that I had money when Trump was in office. What? Oh my God, how stupid can you be? And how many times as a rule, we talked about it, I think last week on a show, Sandy, that just like for the stimulus check, how many of you didn't read what it said when you filed the damn stimulus request? It said we're taking the money back when you file the next year. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So this whole stupidity is not just demographic to middle America. It's stupidity right down here in South Central LA that people that look like me, but they sure ain't gonna act like me. You know what I'm saying? So it just really doesn't mean. I know we got to go to break. So we got to get Tara in here. We could go on about this topic. Maybe we'll have a few minutes with Tara when we get in it. But anyway, guys, we're going to go for a quick break. We're coming back with the gorgeous and fabulous Miss Tara Lambro out of Atlanta tonight. We're going to expose some great things from the media, stuff that you guys need to know about. All right, we'll be right back. Oh, before we go break, get your mug. Okay, get your mug. We got to get them orders in. Get your mug. All right, $13.99. Send that email to ttbttshow@gmail. All right. We'll take care of you from there. We'll see you in a minute. Or maybe 2 minutes. All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Before we bring Tara's waiting in the green room. There was a great. Did you see the comment, Charles, that came in a minute ago? I may have came in on my side, may not know. He asked a question, and then we'll bring Tara up after we. 30 seconds each. We'll answer this question. He asked the question. It was from Joe Mathis. He said to the gentlemen that are talking about this, what would you do as president? So I don't know if you saw that on I saw it on my end, Charles. So let's address that. You didn't see it on your end? Okay. So let's address that, each one of us. 30 seconds. Okay, real quick. Sandy, what would you do as if you were president? What would you do?
Right now, what would I do?
What would you do?
Well, I think Biden's doing a fine job, but
okay.
If I was president right now, I would assassinate Trump and then make them make a decision, because with Trump gone, then they can make a real decision And then I would be out in front of them saying, yeah, no, you looked like you were leaning towards immunity. So I'll take it. Thank you very much. And we can move on from here. And we've now eliminated a big problem. Look, Trump has got to go. The guy is such
right.
There isn't a word to describe him that there's so many words, but you watch or listen to this trial and you go, he just, let him go run his company and screw everybody there, but he shouldn't be president of the, biggest of this country.
Great. So the same gentleman, okay, just sent another question in. What about immigration? He wants to hear what we say about immigration. So this is really good as well. Charles, take that. Then we got to bring Tyrone.
Thank you. I wanted that one. Okay. And I'm not even going to take a long time to say this.
Okay.
Immigration can be resolved. There's a bill already sitting on the table. All it has to do is be voted on, put before the Congress. It adds in, I think it's 200 judges to go to speed up the process to expedite these folks out of the country. 3,000, if I'm not mistaken, extra border patrol money for that. There's a bill there. They just won't do it because they wanted to come out when Trump comes to office, if he comes to office. And this is what my problem is.
Right.
Why are we not putting country first? Why is it these individuals, these demagogues and all this, why can't we do what's necessary for the country when it become all about one person? And that's all I got to say.
Okay. I totally agree. You know what? I'm sure Tara has a lot to say about this. So we're going to go ahead and bring her in because I'm glad to see the participation of the gentleman, but I think he's on my page, putting in and not on the authentic side, of getting it. I'm sure you've seen it live. But anyway, so we're going to bring my dear friend, my dear heart, right onto the show. She's been waiting. I'm sure she can chime in on all what we're talking about as well. Want to bring back to the show, our dear heart and friend of the show, Miss Tara Lambo. Producer, actor, active mom, got two beautiful, wonderful daughters that are just blossoming in the entertainment industry as well as herself. You can see her on anything that you turn on TV. You see that beautiful face come up, okay? All of that out there. So we have been friends for quite some time. I'm going to tell our story real quick. We're going to let you get into this political thought we're talking about. So we met almost 11 years ago at this point, 11, 12 years ago at this point. It's been that long. But we were on Necessary Roughness together, and we're both reporters. She had a few lines that I didn't. Okay, but anyway, it really didn't matter. But we found a cohesive balance, and we found such a synergy between the two of us, and it was such a beautiful thing. We talked about everything on the side. It was like we were best friends that day. We spent the whole day together. We ate it. We raided Crafty together. We had lunch together, and we have maintained a beautiful friendship, especially in this industry, because it's hard to maintain friendships with people for a longevity of time. They work together and they go, and most of the time they don't see each other, anymore after that, and it kind of rolls me forward to when we were on Almost Christmas together. So we did a lot of stuff together. We were in what else we were in together on the ID channel. We didn't work together that day, but you were the reporter and I was the victim or something. I think it was Snap or something that we did. And I saw it. I was like, oh my God, Tara was on set saying that. I wasn't even know it, But that's how this industry goes. But anyway, let me shut up. How are you, my darling?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, things are going well. Crazy, raising two girls that are involved in everything.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm incredibly grateful. Loving life.
Good. I am. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to hear a little bit about Skylar and what the exciting things that are going on with her. Because she's got a remarkable daughter that is just like blow it up. Okay, Nicole Kidman, get out the way. But anyway, let's go ahead and dig in. Okay.
Yeah, we'll make a movie together with her.
Yes. So tell us real quick about your project, what you got personally going on, and then we'll dig into the topic of the evening and all that. So what's going on with you?
Sure. I think the newest thing that's going on with me is I just launched, I've had United Child Actors Network for.
Right. Yes. Uh-huh.
And what that is it's a platform for parents to get their children into the acting industry safely and successfully. Because I feel like that's an area that unfortunately a lot of parents, they have these kids that have these big dreams, but then they have absolutely no idea where to start. So I created this platform, United Child Actors Network, which I've had for a few years. But I recently just launched a masterclass for parents of child actors.
Okay.
So it gives them literally carte blanche, everything that they need to know, starting from industry terminology, how to get a manager, how to get an agent, how to self-tape, edit, auditions, headshots, wardrobe, everything you can think of. And I think two things that really nobody talks about, which is number one, how to create self-worth and confidence in your acting child, because oftentimes the kids that can get bullied in school for being creatives and being theater kids, and giving them the self-worth to get back the power over words so that they can no longer be used against them. Number two, dealing with rejection and competition and comparison, and some self-care techniques for not just the kids, but also the parents, because it's such a niche industry that a niche segment of the industry that nobody really has support there for parents. So when, I was an actor myself and both of my kids became actors, and I'm so blown away by how different those two worlds were. And there was just no support in regards to how I could maneuver myself in that industry. So I thought, you know what, this is a passion. This is a place where I need to be, where I need to help these kids and these parents, because we can empower the entire industry and help keep these unsavories, these pedophiles.
I was about to say that,
our industry, so that we keep our young creatives safe, because when the parents know their rights and the kids feel empowered, that's a winning combination, so that those SOBs can get out of here.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad to hear you say it, because that was going to be my question. I mean, and I'm really glad to see that, because with this I won't say this nucleus, but this, I don't know, but I'll call it a system. So with this system you're developing, because really, I mean, it's a great way to keep kids in a safe space, because it seems like the predators are just finding a way and just really getting in there nowadays, and it's so unfortunate. I wish my counterpart hubby was here tonight, but he has this passion so much about Judy Garland, which we all love. Okay. And then what Judy brought to this industry as a whole, and how she is probably and will always be the longest living legacy of legacies throughout Hollywood, But knowing her story and understanding her story and the things that she went through with the predators from Louis B. Mayer and all of the ones that created this industry out here, and what she suffered at the hand of not even had good parenting. And the later part of it, because her mama pushed her out front and said, well, hey, have her, at the end of the day, because they wanted to make the money, and the list goes on. Like Gary Coleman. I mean, unfortunately, God rest Gary Coleman, how his parents really put him out there and stole his money, Yeah,
and JB, I think a big part of it is that there's such an imbalance of power, because this industry teaches you that if you get booked, if you get the job, you are so fortunate. Like, oh my gosh, they picked you. So then you get on set and the parents don't want to do anything to screw that up.
Right.
They're just thinking whatever, do whatever they say. Do yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Just go with him. He said yes, and go with him. And instead of parents understanding that SAG-AFTRA has a rule that you have to be within sight and sound of your child at all times.
Right.
A lot of parents don't know that. So they think, we're going to go take them for a fitting. We'll be right back. Mom, Dad, you should be with him.
Right there.
If they don't know, they don't know. So I think a lot of these parents too didn't have the worst of intentions.
Gotcha.
They were so unbelievably naive, and the child falls victim.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping to correct. And if I can just do that in just a small way, United Child Actors Network, to be like, I put out free videos and lots of information just to educate, so that these parents know that these kids shouldn't not be able to follow their dreams to, inaccessibility, inequity, or lack of knowledge.
Well, any way that we can as a show and as individual, if we can direct people to your website or whatever that to promote that, you got me on that part. And one of the points I know we got to get into tonight. So, and I just want to commend you. But basically, I thought about when you were saying that. I remember when Skylar was shooting the film in Canada, and how you were there, and so beautiful part of it. You took time out from that to come and be a part of the show that one night there. We were kind of setting up time zones, and it's freezing up here. But I remember that. Yeah. And I remember that, but how you were right there every step of the way as she was shooting and all of those type of things. And I remember how you sharing that this character that she had to take on was a very dark and a deep character for her. And you had to pull her out when she came from set, it's like, wake up, baby, it's mommy, and things.
I always tell my kids, I coach as well. And I tell my biological children who both act as well as my little kids that I coach that it's like a roller coaster ride. Like you strap in and you make sure that you're like safe. And then we go on twists and turns and everything else. But then the ride comes to a stop and you unbuckle and you get off and then you're done. And that ride is the script and the shooting and then get off and get on with life. And,
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Tara, hi, it's Sandy Hackett. So nice to meet you. I'm so glad to hear what you're doing. I have to assume, but I'm going to ask, are you aware of the documentary about Dan Schneider?
Yes, Quiet on Set.
I'm sorry?
It's called Quiet on Set. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that sums up everything that you're talking about and what's going on out there and that we've got to stop and what you're addressing. So bless you for doing that, because when you watch that thing, it's horrifying as a parent to see what they did to those kids. And some of it, he, directly or indirectly, he was responsible, but, it was horrifying.
It's disgusting. And, the last thing I'll say, because I know we need to get to the topic of the show, but production, those are some of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. And that's why I never had a problem with putting my children in the production world. It's the select few that get in and man, they just ruin it for everyone. And when you're talking about pedophiles, I mean, that's horrific. So we have to do something to level up as an industry to get them out, because 99% of the people in this industry are remarkable, creative people who are in it for the right reasons.
Right. And you have that 2% that is just those things all off whack and that. Yeah, it is. So I'm really glad to hear that. And it just, again, another spark or say another feather in the hat, something that we can work with. So let's go ahead and dig into this media conversation now. So I know with your long history with Channel 7 there in Atlanta, and as you said on previous shows that you left because of the disgust that you found being a reporter and what they were requiring you to do and the things that you're requiring you to say to generate the propaganda that continuously flows in the news cycle. Yeah. So let's dig into that briefly, and then let's just try to. I know you have to be delicate about what you expose. I understand that. You can't take the full hat off, I guess. Or go ahead, let your hair down.
Now,
it's already down, right? Okay. So
there's nothing that I can't say or won't say. Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of. I know that's right. It's Charlie Buddy. So let's look at it from an inception. So as a reporter, going out and okay, here's this story, and you're gonna go get it. I don't want to use. Well, let's just use Trump as the background. I mean, that's the topic of the day. At the end of the day. So you go out to get the story. So kind of explain to the general consistency of the audience and how that generally works as a reporter and what is expected, and then what gets the takeaway and the cutaway from that.
Yeah, sure. So just, a little background for people that don't know. I started in St. Louis as an anchor and a reporter, and then went to Knoxville, South Carolina, and Greenville, and then landed at WSB-TV here in Atlanta, Georgia, as a reporter. So that's my background as a broadcast journalist. And yes, you are assigned a story in the morning. There is a meeting in the morning. You meet in the newsroom. The news director is in there. All of the reporters are in there. The anchors sometimes are a part of that meeting as well. And we go through what are the top stories of the day. And then we get assigned our stories. most of them are on a local level, but when you have something as big as Trump, normally you're going to have, someone there. We always look for a local angle for a national story. Is there some way that we can tie this in locally? Once that story is assigned, it's then up to the reporter to go out and get the interviews, make the phone calls, set everything up. And then once you have all of that, you record the interviews, you then write your story. So it's up to the reporter to write the story, and then you give the instructions to the photographer. If you have a photographer, some people are called one-man bands, which they do everything themselves. You edit it with the sound bites, the clips of what you want them to say. You put it all together, and then most of the time you're live at 5 or 6 or 11 or noon, or if it's a morning show, and then you present your story. The anchor tosses it to you. You're live with an IFB in your ear. You present your story. It plays. You do your outro, and you're out. So the problem arose when I was working in South Carolina, early 2000s, where they called it viewer advocacy. And what that was they introduced the word I into news. So instead of saying the police department says the accident happened at 2:42 p.m. on Jones Road, now they wanted you to say, I just went to the police department and I just got this report. Here's what the report says. They said the viewer wanted to know the background of how reporting and anchoring works. The problem with that was that now I am a part of the story. And I may have an ego. And that is a problem when distinguishing between news and yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we became part of the story. We were meant to be a part of the story. So now it becomes editorial, not news. So now fast forward, that I'm talking early 2000s, right?
Right.
So now fast forward, we're in 2024. So damn near 20 years has passed where now you have reporters and anchors who only know because I'm old school, right? I was already in the industry for 10 years before I was introduced. So it was a little awkward. I still understood how to balance the two, but now that doesn't happen anymore. And the problem is when you don't have news, when you don't know what's true or false, nobody knows what to believe anymore. Nothing. And here we are. Or I shouldn't say they believe nothing. They believe what they want to hear.
Right.
So decide to tune into the station that tells them what they want to hear. Is that true?
Right. So is it? I'm sorry. So is it? And I know Sandy's got a lot of questions for you. So is it safe to say that this development of the consistent propaganda that rolls out from the different networks on a regular basis is where that general audience, as you just said, that they want to hear, whether and most of it is a lie. Let's just go ahead and throw Fox News up under the bus. I mean, it seems
no accountability.
Okay, well, yeah, none.
No accountability at all.
None. And just the editorial, like you said, perspective of how and I'm gonna say clowns that can sit on TV repeatedly over and over again and say this BS. I'm gonna say bullshit about that clown that's in front of us, and then make it like, this is like your family is being destroyed based upon our propaganda, and the rest of this world that follows them thinks that's absolutely true. It's sad, but let me shut up. I can keep talking. Sandy, go ahead. I know you got to wait.
It's an excellent explanation, Tara, explaining it to us. We've become from third-person news to first-person news. And then the anchors or the people giving us the news read it as if it's gospel, and they and at some point, and look, this whole thing with Fox, where they got fined $700 and something million for the election fraud, but still they're putting out lie after lie after lie every day, and you go, how did that not? I mean, that was a big number, and what's his name lost his job for being part of it. Their number one anchor.
Right. Whatever his name. The other.
It's amazing how quick I've forgotten his name.
Sean Hannity.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Right. So he's disappeared, went to Russia to give us more stuff. And it's just, and now that guy, that Jesse Waters, I mean, I don't mind a dissenting opinion if someone has an opinion about something, but when you're putting out lie after lie after lie and appealing to people that they want to listen, Terry, you're right. They want to listen to your lies because that's what they want to hear. I want to hear Trump's a good guy because that's who I want. And if he's going to, he should be president because he's just being, I'm listening to everything Trump's saying that, yes, he's been abused by the system and the Biden Justice Department is going after him. And you go, well, what a crock of shit.
Yeah. Sure. And if you've seen, is it called The Social Dilemma? The documentary in regards to your cell phone and the things you're going to see on there. They did such a tremendous job of explaining this even deeper by saying what you click on and what you watch, AI then goes, oh, you're a Trump supporter. Oh, you're anti-Trump. And then they start feeding in more and more and more of that. And everything's being presented as news. So they're being educated on what they're seeing on their phone, taking it as gospel because it's being presented as news and editorial content. So there's no distinction now between the two. And both sides are getting that. So then both sides meet and they just have no idea how this person can think this and how this person can think this based on what they've received as news. So it really creates this unbelievable dichotomy of polar opposites, oppositional views in our world where people cannot come together because there's no more truth. And
I got a theory on that. I have a theory on that, but let's go to break. And once we come from break, we'll go back over that theory.
Okay.
I got a real spill on that.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'll definitely let you put your point when we come back from break. Real quick, as we go to break, what you're speaking of, our resident therapist that was on the show a few weeks ago, it's a program and it's a program system. And she said programming is the way that everybody in society is being done. And we can explore it. I just wanted to bring that point out before we went to break. All right, guys, we'll be right back after this quick break. But more. Get that meat.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Want to make sure that you go and like and share whatever platform that you are watching us on this. Need to make sure you hit that like, and that share button, and also get your mug. Tyra, we got mugs now, boy. We grooving. So get your Truth Behind the Truth mug. I'll say we still have our contest going on that if you submit 5 likes or 5 shares to our email address, we'll send you a complimentary mug. If you'd like to go ahead and purchase it, it is still on promotional price at $13.99. And we will send it to you free shipping. I feel like a commercial. Free shipping. Anyway, let's go ahead and dig back into this great conversation as we are exposing the media this evening. Charles, you had the question.
Okay. This is it's basically an opinion. And of course, everybody's got one. The way society has changed over the years, and the way we've transitioned from more user friendly everything. From now, you don't have to turn the stove on. You got a remote or an app on your phone. Let's turn it on. Tell you how long you want it to cook and shut it down. Same with our news. We've gone to become a nation or a world of sound bites. Everything is convenience. Give me in one little plug, maybe 8 seconds. It used to be 8 seconds. Now it's 6 seconds is the attention span. So you give me that little sound bite, boom, and I run with it. And they go, Trump's very good at that. Trump has that down pat. That's why he gives everybody little nicknames. He knows what to click, what a stick is, like throwing spaghetti on the wall. That works. Throw that over there, see if it'll stick. The problem we have now is too many people are lazy. They don't want to do the work to find out what is true. And AI presents a very, very real problem, because we saw with the Pope in the car in the fur jacket. You can turn a video that looks almost authentic as the real. And people just like the internet, we are so behind on the rules and the guidelines and the boundaries that it just runs wild and amok. So you turn around, now you got to catch up, and it's hard to catch up once it's out the corral. You can't just chase that buck around and pull it back. Once it's there, and that's the problem we're having now. People look at TikTok as the news. Yes, it may be live, but it can be manipulated very, very much, and people don't understand that. And I had people tell me all the time, well, I saw it on TikTok. What did it say? Well, they said, America's wrong. But you don't know the depth of it. There's more to it than just America's wrong. There are too many instances where we don't know the history. People don't know that Israel's been fighting, the West Bank and so forth for years, centuries almost. And nobody knows that. All they know is that one incident of the 14 people getting hurt by the Palestinian, by Hamas, and now that's the whole world. But you don't remember all the things Israel went over there and bulldozed all those homes. They went over there and they killed, they racked up all those people and took over. There's a battle going on that we don't understand, that there's two sides to it. And that's like I tell people, Hamas is bad, but that's understand Americans. All Americans aren't bad. There's some bad actors, and you have to get those actors. But you can't wipe out the whole place because of a few bad actors. And that's where we're getting twisted up at. We're not looking into the whole picture. We're just seeing sound bites. And that's the problem we have with just microwaving. Give it to me quick and get out the way. Just that simple.
The problem, Charles, is where do you go?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And truly, and this is really bad, because here I am as a former journalist. I can tell you, I am not abreast on the news that I should be. I don't know where to go.
Wow.
The truth.
Wow.
It's so disheartening. It's so disappointing, because you don't want to put your head in the sand.
That's why you're here, Tara. We're the truth behind the truth.
Right.
It's the only one I can go. This is it. Because there's just no place to go.
Yes.
And when you always know, the right to free speech, right? Literally, number one, we have the right to free speech. And who knew that our forefathers understood how important that was going to be in the rights of journalism to keep people on the up and up? It's gone.
Yes.
It's gone. And we have created just this unbelievable storm of... Can I curse on this show?
No, go ahead. Yeah, girl.
I'm mute if I can't curse.
No. You're fine. Go right ahead.
I'm Italian, so it comes with it's such a shitstorm that we truly have no place to go to find our truth. And when you don't know how do you form an opinion? It's literally, think about it. It's like your teacher back in high school saying, I want you to write this essay, an argumentative essay on, pick any topic in the world, but I'm not going to give you any truth on it.
You're right. Exactly.
How am I going to do that?
Right.
You have no way to form an opinion if all you have is gossip.
Right.
And that's what this is. And I love Charles, where he was like, now this is my opinion, right before he started everything.
Right.
Thank you for that disclaimer.
Right.
That's what our news is not doing.
Right. Well, I mean, this is. I know Sandy got some questions. I'm like, because I can keep running my mouth. But this is so good. My thoughts are hearing everybody's, points about this. It's like, for us being, I think, a leader, and as what we're trying to be is we're doing as a bulldozer, if I may use that term, because I got my bulldozer up in the corner up here. He'll tell you that in a heartbeat, But I think that this platform, and thank you for saying that we do try to open up that opportunity. You know what I mean? To spread and I'm gonna use this disclaimer, the gospel of truth, not necessarily religious perspective, but gospel means truth anyway. I mean, good news. So, we really want people to understand that. We really want to understand that, these news media cycles are doing nothing but programming you into the abyss of a hole, or actually a black hole. And you wonder why you're there. You're like, where can I ever get out? As you're saying, there's just nowhere to turn for the general person that doesn't have the thought ability to seek more, because now whatever community group that you're a part of, if you say that you're a truth seeker, they think you're from another planet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I preface, I don't want to paint the picture that all journalists are bad.
No. We weren't getting that. No.
Friends are still journalists, and they
Right.
have a heart of gold, and they have that I want to make a difference. I want to be a leader. I mean,
Right.
I got into journalism because I truly wanted to change the world. I wanted to make
Right.
the world a better place. And I believe that those people are still in this industry.
Right.
But
Right.
what you're faced with is ratings. So
Right. That was my next question.
that your intro grabs them, especially local news. Local news is going away because they're waiting until 5 and 6 o'clock to get their news. They're getting it on TikTok. They're getting it,
Right.
their TVs are everywhere. It's a ticker at the bottom of the screen. So
Right.
it's going away. Like it will be gone within, I'm predicting the next decade. But it's still very cheap to make. So that's why it's still there. However, you have these journalists that really want to do good, but they're met with money. Like it has to be good ratings. You have to keep the viewership. It has to be juicy. All of these things that make their job really difficult to do. And local news is not covering what we're really talking about on the national circuit.
Right.
So
Okay.
it is kind of apples and oranges. They kind of get into the national news that they kind of take from the big news.
It's true. So, and now that you're explaining that, it makes even more sense. That I think Charles and I talk about this, and I'm not saying that we're news junkies to the point that the ability to decipher what's coming at us and the venue that it's coming from. But go ahead, Sandy. I know you got points. I can keep going. But go ahead, Sandy. Zan.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, I was thinking, what was your point? I'm sorry. Because
No,
I keep running off. I want to make sure you get yours
I'm
in.
just listening to this. For everybody that, we don't get to see the trial, but we get to see the reports. But this David Pecker telling us what the Enquirer and the other news rags were putting out there. And you go, it's so disgusting that you go, you guys just made up the wildest shit you could come up with to say Ted Cruz's, and I am no fan of Ted Cruz's, but to say that his father was involved in the assassination of Kennedy.
Oh my
and
God.
He called it at the time and said, look, this is Pecker and Trump are making this up. Trump, I'm not making up anything. And you go, boy, and people are gullible to that stuff. And, we all think, most people think, well, the Enquirer makes up some of the stuff, like when you open up inside and it says, an alien came to my house and made me breakfast with eggs from Mars. And you go, okay, I'm not going to believe that. But I will believe the cover that says that Ted Cruz's father was involved in the assassination of JFK. And you go, that just puts enough doubt in there to get a guy out of the race. And as bad as Trump is, right. I think Ted Cruz might have been better. No solution.
But what does that say about Cruz? He became Trump's friend after all that. This is my problem. Where's the morality? Where are the scruples? If my man told my wife was ugly, and then he told me my father killed Kennedy, and now I'm kissing his butt, and I'm his best friend, what does that happen? I'm still kind of lost on how this changes. He told us that Lindsey Graham was gay. He didn't have no woman. He just never had a woman. Now Lindsey's his best friend. They all said Trump was a racist and a grifter, but yet now they're all his friend. This is where I lose it. We don't have any standards. We're flip flop, and it's all about that mighty dollar. Everybody wants to get paid. Right. The congressmen going to Congress now as $100,000 salary, and they're millionaires in the next 2 years. It's just so.
Well, you packaged up a lot right there, Charles. And it's kind of like leading into where I was thinking that you don't. This is kind of like the question where you said earlier, Charlie. It's like we don't know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't rely upon typically on your news cycle to bring you the truth behind the truth. Or just the plain old damn truth. Period. At the end of the day. So you really kind of feel lost, and yes, pushing our show again. This is the place where you need to go to find out the truth of your life. But from what we're talking about right now, to relationships, to religion, to the political spectrum, to fun, to life, to entertainment, because we're going to bring you that truth. You know what I'm saying? That's our goal. That's our motto. And I'm putting this in the university because it's a moment for it. That we need to be out there, guys. We need to be out there. This needs to be the #1 show next to The View. Okay, on daytime television. Okay, so that they can have this great conversation and not be censored as to what they can bring to the masses of the people. Because if there's not going to become a venue such as this on a larger scale, I love how you said that, Tara, is that we are going to fall into the abyss. Not us collectively here, but we're talking about humanity as we know it, and it's a very scary thing. God forbid if Donald Trump gets back into the White House and controls the media like he wants to do, like his I'm going to say something I shouldn't say. His friend in Russia, okay? I was going to say something else, all right? I'm going to be delicate right now, okay? I ain't going to be delicate. His daddy in Russia, and I'm going to, y'all know what I mean by daddy, okay?
More like Zaddy. Zaddy.
Right, okay? In Russia. So, but as we've been saying, and Sandy articulates so well week after week, is that, guys, please, wake the up, please. Okay, please pay attention to what's going on. #1 in your own individual community. Okay, that is the #1 thing, because that's where it starts. Okay, because you can't blame Sandy, you can't blame me, you can't blame Tara, you can't blame Charles. Okay, you got to blame yourself for what you didn't get involved in your community. And at the end of the day, you can't blame Joe Biden, and you sure can't blame Donald Trump. All right, it's what you didn't do in your community. All right, and if you're still looking,
There's a saying, JB, that I heard all today and all week. Why we only got 2 candidates. I'm a firm believer that if you got something to say or you want to get in there, step up and do something. Well, it's not impossible. If you feel like you have an answer, get up. And I tell people this constantly. Everybody has answers, but nobody wants to step to the forefront. How do you expect people to do anything if you don't step up and make it known what's going on? A lady in Chicago, I saw a video last week. She stood up in the middle of the city council meeting and she said it. She said it well. She goes, "You're not going to pull the wool over us and pay for all these immigrants to live and eat when we got people homeless, been here for years and they don't have a place to stay. But you're going to bring these people from another country, give them somewhere to stay, give them an EBT card to eat, and we got people sitting out there can't got a place to go." She says, "But what we're going to do is you vote for this bill to feed those immigrants and see will you be in office next term.
Wow.
Because you need to be worried about your job. We're not going to sit around here and watching people go, well, my vote don't count." Yes, it does. That's why they're trying to take it away. If it didn't count, they wouldn't fight so hard to take it. Believe me, it works. And like you said, JB, our local community is where it starts. Absolutely. We have to start with our mayor, our sheriff, our what do you call it? Our city council, the commissioner, the commissaire. Everybody in that system works within that hole, and then it moves up. There's only one thing I can agree with. I said with Trump when he says, "Give it to the states." That's the power, the states. But we can't give everything to the states. The states have to step up for themselves and prove themselves accountable for what's going on in the state.
Excuse me. Well, so well said, and I love that. So Tara, as we kind of bring it on, because there's more we need to unpack, but I know we don't have enough time to unpack it all. Tonight you have to come back and continue this conversation. But I guess to the general audience, in your own way, how can you suggest to them to be? I think what's the word I'm looking for? more astute as to watching what they do watch, and how to walk away from that with at least a little bit of truth that they can, kind of bank on, for their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you what I do. I do watch opposing news channels.
Okay.
I watch the ones I don't like. I watch the ones I do like.
Okay.
I avoid all commentary because
Okay.
I don't care what you think.
Good. Okay.
No, I mean, some people do, and that's great. But I check PBS, I check the New York Times, I check the LA Times. I will check local newspapers, and when I say newspapers, everything's online, guys.
Right. Okay.
I'll check them. I'll make. It's a research project.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this to sound daunting because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes out of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Alexa.
Right. Okay.
Really interesting to see what Alexa says versus what the New York Times will say, or versus what the LA Times will say.
Wow.
If you find a local a podcast that you like, such as this one, where people are speaking truth.
Yes.
You see a sound bite. This gets back to what Charles said. And they're saying, well, I saw it. I mean, guys, I came from a grandmother, speaking of the National Enquirer, Sandy, that she was like, they couldn't print it if it wasn't true. Born in 1917. So I was like, Grandma, the aliens didn't land in Vermont.
Right.
Happen. But she's like, they couldn't print it if it wasn't true. So getting out of that mindset, evolving, understanding media is not what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
Don't have that level of journalistic integrity. Unfortunately, again, no shade to my fellow journalists. Most of them, it's not them. It is the system that they are currently part of. It's like you're not calling teachers bad by saying the educational system is broken.
Right.
That's the same exact thing that I'm trying to get across here.
Right.
But skimming those articles, looking at everything. And Charles, what I was going to say about that, if you see a soundbite, if you see the Pope in a fur coat, do a little bit of research there. See if you can find the full interview. See if you can find, because I can take a soundbite from this. If I wanted to edit this, I could make all of you sound like you love Trump.
Yes, right. Okay. Sandy. I get it.
When something is edited, you can do anything you want. Anything. So you have to be very, very careful when you ingest something and you take it as gospel.
That's the moment for tonight. Go ahead. Go now. I'm not cutting you off. Go ahead.
My girls sometimes will say something to me and like, hey, did you hear blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, where did you hear it? And if it's TikTok, Instagram, did you check it? Did you fact check it? I want you to fact check it. Because I don't want them going around spreading misinformation because it's wildfire, right? So and plus you want to sound educated.
Yes.
You want to sound like the person that can have an educated conversation and say, well, that's actually not what I heard. I heard this. What do you think? And I wish I would encourage people to just start talking to each other again. I mean, I'm a communications major. Like all the world's problems can be solved by just talking to each other. That ability to just talk to each other because we're all angry. And we're all so angry. It's like I just want to like hug everybody. Like, oh my God,
Surprisingly enough, I had those exact words to a gentleman that was at the store before I came home today. And I said, what we need to do is to start sitting down and talking to one another. Once we start that, I think that we will begin to find the rule of life that means love. And then that comes from that. Then we'll figure the rest out, but just start talking to one another. I think that's a good point to wrap on tonight. People
and listen.
Exactly. Because you can't talk without listening. That's for sure. But anyway, this has been
goes both ways.
It does. But anyway, this has been tremendous. I mean, really, really tremendous, guys. I want to thank Tara for taking the time out of her busy schedule to share with us. We're going to have you back soon so we can explore a little bit more in this, and get your collective opinion on that. We really loved it tonight. It's just been keep in mind about her network, and we'll keep that circling through the Truth Behind the Truth to support you families. For you have children getting in the industry and what have you, we'll definitely support that. Send them your direction so they can get the right guidance, for everything. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. It has been a simple pleasure. Sandy, thank you for being here. We love you. And Star, I don't know if you knew, he's Hollywood royalty to us. His dad is Buddy Hackett, the legendary comedian from that's the legend, and that's what that's our buddy. Now you know who he is. All right. Anyway, so have a beautiful night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. Tara, love you. See you soon. Well, we'll be in touch. Okay. And thanks again, Sandy. See you Monday. Charles, I'll talk to you in a minute. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to what? The Truth Behind the Truth. Good night, guys.